3, 2, 1.
Okay, welcome to the program, folks. October the 17th, you're with the Editor-in-Chief live with Lester's Oil, your multi-ingredient omega-3 healthy aging supplement. Backed by thousands of satisfied customers, 6 supplements in 1 capsule, supports joint, heart and brain health. Take as directed. Read the label. About Health, Auckland.
Duncan Garner, live.
Yeah, evening everybody. I'm Duncan Garner. Welcome, and it's good to have your company. Get involved and leave us a message across TikTok and YouTube. It's all there. Henk Rogers is a global climate leader, big in the gaming industry, and indeed an international celebrity and founder of Tetris. He's passionate about renewable energy and turned Hawaii on its head with renewables, and given our questionable electricity system, his whistle-stop trip here in New Zealand is timely, and he's tonight on the show with climate leader here, Carmen Vicelich, so they'll join us shortly. Barney Koneferenisi has tried to get an Uber for the disabled off the ground, but he has been given the bum's rush for almost a decade by duck-shoveling ministers and officials. It's appalling. I've seen the paperwork. No one's committed to this guy over 7 years. He's put a huge amount of work into it, and he's been left stranded. So we have a chat to him. And JP, John Paul Foliaki, our winner of Celebrity Treasure Island, is hopefully floating around somewhere. He's on Cloud 9 anyway. We better rip him off there and bring him into the studio. He will join us as well. Very good evening.
Duncan Garner, live.
Right, Henk Rogers is an international climate leader and the man behind the video game Tetris. He's off to address the Commonwealth Heads of Government Conference in Samoa. His passion is the climate, renewable energy, and he's transformed Hawaii with local climate advocate Carmen Vicelich, who set up Generate Zero, a business that monitors your carbon emissions. And they both join me now. Nice to have you in the studio. Welcome.
Thank you.
Welcome to New Zealand.
Oh, it's great to be here.
So you're off to the Commonwealth Heads of Government Conference.
Yeah.
And what will you tell them? Because you're obviously addressing them, you're speaking.
Yeah.
As a climate leader, what's your message?
So my message is it's just a decision. Make the damn decision.
Yeah.
It's like we're in a pickle, and our job is to fix climate change. So make the decision to fix climate change. Pick a date, and then get it done by that date. That's it.
We're dawdling, aren't we? We're slow. We can't. We put things off. We will address them next time. We'll address them in 5 years. We'll address it in 10 years. How long have we got?
Yeah, if somebody came to me and said, "Look, I want to build a building for you, but it's going to be done someday, and I don't know how much money it's going to cost," I'm going to find another construction company. It's got to be. We have to have a deadline. We have to have a clear goal. I don't like this 1.5 degrees, 2.0 degrees. Nobody understands what the hell that means. 100% renewable energy is a very clear goal. You can see it. You can see the smokestack, and once it's stopped blowing smoke, then we know we're done.
What have you done in Hawaii? So what does Hawaii's profile look like?
So Hawaii, we passed legislation that Hawaii has to go 100% renewable energy by 2045. Okay, that's a start. What that meant when we passed it in 2015 is that the utility, or nobody's going to build more fossil fuel infrastructure because it's not going to be amortized by 2045. The second thing we did is we changed the business model of the utility so they make more money by switching to renewables.
Right, and so the investment then goes into wind farms, it goes into dams or whatever.
The utility went from being our worst enemy to our best friend.
Yeah, and it's a simple change, isn't it?
They sound just like us. And so what's going on is that they make more money, win. The people pay less money because renewable energy is about half the cost to the utility compared to oil or whatever, and the climate wins. So it's win-win-win.
See, we've pushed renewables here in New Zealand. This has been our push to get as close to 100% as possible. But it's not working for us. I mean, this winter, our power prices and our spot power prices have gone through the roof. We've had businesses close down as a result because we haven't managed it well. And now we're burning coal to keep the lights on in New Zealand. So join the club, is that what you said?
Sorry about that.
Yeah. What's the answer?
I hate to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, the answer is incentivize businesses to come in and do more renewables. And I don't care which one it is. I love geothermal. I think that's amazing. But wind and solar... And I even heard people talking about hydro today, which that's a longer play, and nuclear, forget about it. I mean, that's a very long play also.
Well, there's been talk about nuclear, but this country, I don't think we're the right size, are we?
Well, in Hawaii, what happened? For example, any island, if there's a nuclear disaster, you've got no way to evacuate people.
You're in trouble.
So forget nuclear. I mean, even if they have clean nuclear. I've been to some place where I saw, some energy system that was built 30 years ago. It's rusting out of existence.
Yeah. We're not big on nuclear. Nuclear is sort of a dirty word in this part of the world. So, but what about you say hydro? We've gone big on hydro. We did it 30, 40 years ago. We invested that way.
Yeah. In the U.S., what's going on is they're basically taking down the dams. They do a tremendous amount of. They don't last forever because they eventually fill up with sediment. Yeah. And then the salmon or whatever the ecosystem that used to live in the river is completely disrupted.
So what's the answer? Where's the world going? Where do you think the world's going or should go?
Well, where New Zealand should go is geothermal because you've got it up the wazoo. Wind and solar, I was in Okinawa and I was talking to them. They said if we cover 1% of our land area with PV, we would be able to power our island.
Yeah, but just people have to make the investment and make the decision, and you say give incentives to do so. What sort of incentives would you be looking at here?
So what happened in Hawaii is very simple. The utility didn't spend any money. They put out RFPs, requests for proposal, for renewable energy. And then companies came with financing and everything, said, we'll sell you wind and solar for 8 cents per kilowatt hour. If you add batteries, now it's up to 12 cents.
Yeah. With the work you do with Generate Zero, are you seeing companies, the profile of companies, are you seeing them dropping their carbon emissions with the work that you're doing?
Yeah, they have to. And I guess, you can have a goal, but if you're not measuring it and you're not monitoring it, then how do you know how you're going?
Yeah.
And so I think that's where we led the world to say you have to report on it. It's mandated. And then there was no way to do that. And obviously we all know about greenwashing and people just reporting for the reporting's sake. So being the data geek, we really saw the opportunity to leverage AI and actually capture their data, report on it in a platform and help them reduce to get to these goals. And I think it's about having a plan. To build on what you said is, we've tried things where people, electricity is so expensive, businesses are closing down.
It's ridiculous though, isn't it?
Because we didn't have a plan. You've got to have a plan. You've got to have a strategy.
But we just roll into each year hoping. We cross our fingers and we hope we're going to get there.
Yeah, exactly. And and it needs investment. Like having spoken at New York Climate Week, COP28, everybody said it needs investment. And there's lots of investment. But obviously if we don't have the local investment, we do need to bring in the infrastructure investment externally.
So that's foreign investment. So we bring in foreign capital. We bring in foreign companies. I don't think this government's opposed to that at all.
No, and I think that's the only way to see it. And we just came from an event where we had the CEO of Tower, the CEO of Kiwi Bank, Rod Drury, the founder of Zero, and it really was unanimous that actually it needs collaboration, it needs investment,
it does. It needs cross-party agreement as well, because we can't afford a small country like this. Every 3 years we have an election, and we just swap and change. We waste all that public money in the meantime. And have no result.
Yeah, make a goal, and I think you touched on hope. Henk's got a lovely saying on hope, and I think it's about making a plan.
So people ask me if I have hope, and I said no, I don't have hope. I have determination.
Yeah.
This is not somebody's not going to come and solve this for us. We're going to have to solve this ourselves.
But from where I sit and what I see, and we cover this stuff pretty closely, all I see is it getting pushed out. And I see
by who?
Well, by this country, because we we've left farmers alone forever, and we still have pushed them back.
I don't exactly know what the situation is here.
Yeah. Well, put it this way.
It's because there's no plan.
That's what I'm saying.
There's no plan. If there's no plan, you can say, well, we're green. We want to do these nice things. We we're pure. We like to do all these. We love. We're green. And come to New Zealand, it's clean, it's lovely, it's safe. But if we don't have a plan, then actually there's no way to make that change. And I think that's where seeing examples of how Hawaii did this was actually. I met Henk when we both spoke at an event.
Yes.
And I thought, well, if we can actually show there is a paradigm and change the thinking and show there is precedent and there is a way, and it takes all of us to do little things. And Henk's got some awesome examples of even how you leverage, younger people that really do care about the planet.
And
young people do, and they're engaged, and they'll march, and they take days off school here for this.
Yeah, I mean, and they have every right to. I mean, when I was young, we closed the school down and demonstrated against the war in Vietnam.
Yes.
We were going to be sent to fight in a war to kill people who had never done anything to us.
Yeah.
And it's like, really?
We did the same.
But now it's time for us to, young people to stand up. The issue, I think, is that young people think that fighting against the fossil fuel companies is the way to go, but that is like banging your head against the wall.
What do you do then? Do you take them? You take them with you as
what we need to do is we need to figure out what the alternative is, and we need to get them to help make the alternative a reality.
Yeah.
For example, we got young people to help us with the mandate in Hawaii. Hawaii is the mandate for 100% renewable energy by 2045. How do we get there? We had elementary school children go door to door, have a conversation with the adults, and exchange a light bulb.
Yeah. You've brought them into the process.
Brought them into yes, and then we had junior high school students draw on sidewalks where high tide would be in a 1 meter rise in sea level.
Yeah, and that's freaky, isn't it?
And you can just ask your university, where is that?
Yeah.
But people don't know. And they go blindly thinking that everything's going to be okay and that, this is not going to happen to me. But no, that's just not true.
What's the scenario if we don't move? What does the world look like if we don't collectively take this action?
Oh, my goodness. I mean, there's plenty of books written about that, and I don't really pay that much attention to it. I don't want to be like the one that says, doom. Yeah, because that doesn't necessarily help. Like if I say to somebody, you're going to drown, does that make them swim harder?
Yeah.
No, not necessarily.
Yeah.
I think a great example is actually why Henk ended up actually forming Blue Planet Alliance, and he has such a fascinating story, obviously being tremendously successful with Tetris, which is 40 years old and the most played game in the world,
isn't it,
to how he suddenly decided to do something in this, and I think really great for you to dive into that story.
So what is it that because you were the founder of Tetris and you were doing that. What is it that happened to you, or what happened, or what triggered your interest in climate and climate change?
100% blockage of the widowmaker. That's the largest artery in your heart. 95% of the people who have that happen to them die.
Yes.
Call it a heart attack.
That's what you had.
That's what I had. And in the ambulance, I said, no, I'm not going. I still have stuff to do.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
And then I figured out, afterwards I went through my bucket list and, found my missions in life.
So you had this epiphany. You were there and you said, right, this is the light bulb moment.
Yeah, I have to be part of the solution rather than being part of the problem. Because if you're not doing something about it, you're part of the problem.
And how have you found different countries and different people to deal with? Are there countries that are leading, and do you know who the best countries are that you're dealing with?
There's countries that have already gotten to 100%. Like look at Iceland.
Yeah.
Iceland, Bhutan, Uruguay, Paraguay, Albania, Ethiopia. Well, that's just because they don't have much electricity there. But I mean, there are countries that have already gotten to 100%. There are countries that are on track to go 100%, and you guys are at 95%.
Yeah.
Hello.
Well, we're getting there.
Yeah.
We're close.
Yeah, even though you're belly aching about how bad things are going, you're at 95%.
Well,
you're
it's
almost
just not that
there.
efficient at the moment.
Okay, well, whatever.
Yeah.
But to me, it sounds like at 90. We're at 36%. We got a long way to go.
36% in America.
No.
In Hawaii.
In Hawaii.
In Hawaii.
Up from 5% when we started.
Yeah, so you've still had quite a good gain. 5%, is that what it was?
That's what it was. And that's because we had a geothermal plant.
Yeah.
As an experiment back in the 70s.
Yeah, and I think it's about actually saying, well, we're going to do this, and there's so many reasons not to do something or to say it's difficult.
Well, it's easy to say no.
It's easy to say this is too hard and someone else needs to do it. And I think, you made the point, and we were chatting about it earlier, even with governments changing every 3 years, thinking, well, that can be someone else's problem because we've got all these other problems to solve.
Yes.
And actually, it's all of our problem. And we saw that at Generate Zero, where everyone said there's no way to measure this data, or even with velocity, with climate data, when if we don't know, how can we make decisions?
Yes.
And it's about collaboration, and in both of those instances, it was the industry coming together.
So how many in New Zealand? How many companies have a profile? How many companies know their profile?
Of their carbon emissions and are reporting on it. We're working with 7 of the banks, 5 insurers, and also with whole of government. And so it's knowing your profile and measuring your carbon emissions and reporting on it, but then it's also how you're going to get to the reduction. And so that's the important part, that actually they can track it and reduce it and share it with all their team and their stakeholders.
When you look at New Zealand's profile, and it hasn't been great, we have been, I know we're only a small contributor to this, 0.02%, but for our size, we haven't been clean and green. What's our profile been over 5 years, do you know?
Well, no, that's where no one's measured it historically, but we are making a difference. And the reason why we're making a difference is because it got mandated and regulated and you have to, not because people want to. And I think when you have all the forces actually aware of this, like customers choosing those that are doing and making a difference, we have the ability, each of us individually, to make choices, to have voices, and to actually choose to work with those that are doing something.
And I'll ask you one more question about that shortly. But in Hawaii, did business, when the law was changed to go for this 100%, to have a target by 2045, did business come on board, or did they push back? Did they say, "Oh no, this is," or did they throw investment into it?
Why would business object to cheaper electricity rates?
Yeah, well, they can do. I mean, you've seen.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. So
the biggest cost of doing business in Hawaii is probably electricity. I mean, land is expensive, but electricity. It's the reason that we have high rents and low wages.
Yes, you have that.
Because we're spending $5 billion plus on oil and $1 billion on coal. That's when we started.
Well, so you've made good progress, but if you've got a long way to go. But see, here we closed down sawmills this year in the middle of the North Island where we are now, because spot power prices were too high, and they said we can't afford this.
I get that. So have a little vision and make a decision that you're going to go 100% renewable energy. Then you no longer have spot prices.
When
it goes away because the supply of wind and solar and geothermal, that's free. You don't have to pay for anything once you build the infrastructure.
What's the profile of wider America? So if you look at America as a country, what do you know?
I don't know. There's still a lot of depends on the state, really.
Right. Yeah.
We've got 15 other states that have copied our mandate. So it's moving across the country, including California, Illinois, New York. So we're like half the country is there.
So they're using Hawaii as the model now.
Using Hawaii as the model.
Yeah, that's success, isn't it?
California, the governor said, we're following Hawaii, also 100%.
And Pacific Islands are going actually.
And now we're doing the same thing for islands around the world.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
Well, this is what we've talked about the Pacific a lot in this country, because they could go under. I mean, this is the talk. If we don't get this right, then we lose countries.
Yeah. Tuvalu says, if you want to talk to us about climate change, talk fast, because we're not going to be around.
Exactly, but if they can do it, then I suppose, why can't we?
But do you think business here is invested in it? Do you think they are understanding of it? That's why I asked that question.
Well, I think some businesses, but what it needs is not just business. It needs a mandate.
Yeah.
Like if you don't have a deadline, and you don't have a plan, everybody can like it or not like it.
That's what I've been saying. See, I think we've been slack at this. We've pushed it out. We pushed it out for someone else's problem.
Stop pushing it. Stop pushing it out.
Yeah.
I was in Korea and a politician asked me, so what should I do? What should we do? And I said, just tell your children the truth about climate change and then ask them.
Yeah, they'll tell you.
They'll tell you if it's carbon dioxide, well, stop doing that. Stop making it.
Yeah, no, I hear you. You're doing fantastic work, amazing work. Your message to the politicians, because they're all the leaders of their countries, so they'll be sitting there listening to you. What will be your strongest message apart from get a plan? What will you tell them about Hawaii, and you'll tell them you got to get on with it?
Make a decision. Make a decision by when you're going to achieve it.
Why do you think they find it so hard?
Because they've got all kinds of how can I say, problems.
Competing interests.
Competing interests. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If you ask a child, they'll give you the simple answer, but the politician will give you all these different reasons. It's just I don't get it. I'm not a politician.
But are you hopeful though? Do you think they'll come around?
We're definitely going to do this.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to do this. I mean, it's like we are not going to go quietly into that long, dark night. We are going to fix climate change and all the other problems in the world. We are going to fix all of them.
I appreciate your time today. It's nice to meet you. You've strong message. Great that you're in the country. When are you off? When are you leaving? You're off in a couple of days?
I got 4 days here, I think.
Well, what's your plan? What are you going to do?
Oh, I don't know. I'm going to go and have fun with. I'm going to have fun with.
We're sharing his message, I guess, with businesses that are wanting to make a difference. So
you talked him up right from start to finish, eh?
And really with change makers, impact makers, and really sharing the message and the paradigm. And actually, Henk's inviting everybody to Hawaii to come and see what he's done.
Yeah,
so we're looking for the right change.
This is what we do. We bring countries to Hawaii, show them what we did, and send them back with an understanding that they can do it back home.
Take the climate change minister from here up there.
Yeah, absolutely.
Grab him, take him. Nice to meet you. All the very best. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Duncan Garner, live.
Okay, it's fascinating stuff because they've made a plan and they're into it, so they're going to do it. So we need a plan. We just keep pushing people off. We keep saying to the farmers, we'll give you another 5 years to have a think about it. Find some technology, we'll give you another 5 years. We'll give you another 5 years. That's what we say. Right, it is time for 3 questions.
3 questions from the editor-in-chief.
Oh no, is this the start of the collapse of Team New Zealand? The British took 2 races off us today and they looked so bloody good doing it, didn't they? Just 2 behind now, so what have we got? 4, 2, and it's the first to get to 7. And the way they were today, I think the British are now a really serious threat, a very serious threat. At number 2, how good and how calm is Peter Burling? Well, what we do know is he's seriously as cool as a cucumber, this guy. If anyone has seen what he does, and he won't be rattled by this, he'll come back, but we don't want the sort of the Dean Barker thing going on, do we?
3.
At number 3, and 12 weeks of Celebrity Treasure Island, it's come to an end, and the winner was JP. He nailed it. It means money to his charity, which provides fresh water in the Pacific. It's a job well done, and hopefully, I think he's hanging around somewhere. I'm just not sure where he is, but he's not far from here. So he will join us very shortly.
Duncan Garner, live.
James has said to us, Duncan, the biggest problem is the baby boomers and some Gen Xers. They don't want to change their ways. They hate the hybrids. They hate the electric cars and the like. I reckon that's probably the issue. You know, I reckon the issue is with older New Zealanders. So they just don't know enough. They don't want to know. They don't want to change their approach to it. Should there be profit making on climate change, or should it be free? No corporate input required. No, you need the corporates. You need the corporates in there. Right, Barney, my man. Barney Koneferenisi has tried for 7 years to get support for an Uber ride sharing app basically off the ground. He's worked so damn hard at this. So I've seen what he's done. And he has tried everyone in power and everyone in opposition, everyone twice actually, and then again after that. And he's gone to officials, he's gone to agencies, he's gone to politicians. And they've all, thanks for your letters and thanks for your approach, Barney. And they've been non-committal and they've given him the bum's rush. I've seen the paperwork, I've seen the letters. It's an utter embarrassment what they've done to him, I reckon. And Barney, he's with me now. G'day, mate. Nice to see you. God, I've seen the letters and I've seen what you've done. It's I don't know about you, but to me it looks like a bloody disappointment.
Yeah, it's absolute shambles. It's an embarrassment. If you ask me, DG, it's like you said, I've been doing this for 7-8 years now.
It's 8 years, is it? Yeah, I thought it was
8 years now, and I've been approaching government officials, a lot of different guys that were in power. So it was when I first started, it was under John Key, and then Bill English, and then whoever the bloody hell was after that.
So what is it you want? Just remind the public what is it you want? Yeah. So you want what?
So I'm trying to start my own rideshare service similar to Uber, but having open segments that Uber doesn't have, so wheelchair accessible vans. Of course. For larger wheelchairs that can't fit in the normal taxi. Yep. Wheelchair and service animal friendly drivers, as a lot of drivers, when they see the wheelchair or service animal, they pretty much
drive off.
The ride.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, no, I've heard about this. You said this last time too.
A lot of the time, when these individuals book the ride and the driver sees a wheelchair, they drive off, and then what people don't realise is that it leaves that wheelchair or that disabled person in a vulnerable position, especially if it's 7:30 p.m. They can't defend themselves, Duncan.
Yeah, I know.
If you have drunks at 8:30 p.m., the last thing a person in a wheelchair wants to see is a couple of drunk people coming down. Yep. You want to go on the side because you don't want to get attacked, right?
Yes, you're vulnerable. Yeah,
pretty much.
So what's the closest you've got to? What I'll do is I'll just push that microphone into you. Eh?
All good.
We've got to speak to the tip. You see, if you're speaking to the tip, then you. So the closest you've got to who's been the most encouraging? Which minister or which party or which person has been
the most encouraging? Yeah, the most encouraging to piss me off, or the most encouraging?
The most encouraging in terms of they said that'd help, but never went anywhere.
Well, the closest I've had in the past was Arena Williams. A lot of these guys, now mind you, Duncan, a lot of these guys say they want to help, but when they do help, the only help that they want is a photo for their social media page. So a lot of them say, come in, let's catch up a coffee, let's see what we can do. And then a lot of the MPs that I've spoken with, Arena Williams, Simeon Brown, Michael Woods, who at the time was Transport Minister when Labour was running the country, they all wanted to come into the office, and then straight after that, we just took a photo. They were on zombie mode, so when I spoke to them, I could tell they weren't listening to me. They just waited for me to stop talking. Then as soon as I stopped talking, they pulled their phone out and say, yeah, let's take a photo. And then after that, they cut connections with me straight away.
Is it that shallow?
It's pretty much that much.
Holy shit.
And at the time, I was under
it's appalling hearing this.
I was under the Paralympic campaign at the time, so I couldn't really say much, because if I said something, I would go against.
Now you can.
Now I can. Yeah. And I apologise, but I don't really give a fuck.
Yeah,
right?
Okay.
If you're not going to look after your own people, then like I said
you're
before,
angry, right?
Yeah, 100%. I'm pissed off.
Yeah, I know. I see that. When your approach came through to me, I thought I've got to look after you on this because I know the issue because we spoke last time.
Yeah.
And I wondered if success was coming. I hadn't seen anything.
Yeah.
And then when I read the letters.
Yeah,
Because
when I reached out to because at the time when I did reach out to the national government, this is after Labor got out of the beehive. I reached out to the disabled ministry who at the time minister was Penny Simmons.
Yeah, Cipollone was there too at one stage, wasn't he?
Cipollone in the beginning during the Paralympic campaign, I reached out to Cipollone. They said when you get back into managed isolation, reach out to my assistant and then we will help you with some sort of funding. I reached out to the assistant and the assistant got somebody else that I'd never had contact with to get back to me and say, look, these are the sources that you can reach, and the sources that they gave me are the same people that turned me down 5 years ago. And they said, I'm sorry, this is all we got. And they used COVID-19. They say, due to the government cutting costs because of COVID-19 and trying to recover the costs, we cannot help you.
Are you sick of the bullshit?
I'm tired of it. It's the same excuses. And when you call them out, they play innocent, right? Unless that's what I mean. When a lot of people within the disabled community, a lot of them don't like going against against the status quo because they're just worried about getting their funding cut, or they're worried about.
Yeah, but if they're going to cut your funding because you speak out, then go and do it, and we'll reveal it.
Yeah,
we'll
100%.
show you how you are.
Yeah,
right.
definitely. So at the time when I did reach out to Penny Simmons, she referred me to the Transport Minister, Simeon Brown. Simeon Brown referred me to
go through the list. Yeah, go through the list. This is great.
So when I reached out to Simmons, she said, the concerns you have raised are more clearly aligned with the transport portfolio, so we will pass you on to Minister Brown. No response.
Yeah.
And then on the 19th of March, 2 weeks after that, Upston said, please be assured your correspondence has been noted. The subject matters you raise falls within the portfolio of the disabled minister.
There we go.
And then I went back to her, went back to Brown, went back to Upston, went back to whoever the fuck I went to before, cut me dry.
This is like a 7 rugby team throwing the ball around.
Yeah. I felt like a prostitute on camera.
I mean, this is it's called duck shopping.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it is. It's when you just pass it on because you can't be bothered.
No, I honestly can't be bothered. I am the disabled ministry. I'm not sure if you know this, D, but the disabled ministry has been dismantled. It's slowly being dismantled. Right. No funding is going towards.
No, you can see that. Yeah, because this was Labour's initiative.
Yeah,
it took far too long to get a disabled ministry anyway, but we got it, and then they took the funding off it.
100%. And this was an article that was just released later this in the beginning of this week, and it says that more than 1 million New Zealanders have physical, sensory, learning, mental health, and other disabilities. But despite making up nearly a quarter of the population, accessibility remains an afterthought in transport.
What are you going to do? Well, how do we resolve this?
So what I'm doing right now, because like I said, I've been screwed by government agencies, I've been screwed by charities, I've been screwed by pretty much you name them all. I've been screwed.
Yeah.
The only option that I have right now, and it's sad that I have to do this, but I've set up a Give a Little page.
Yep.
And that Give a Little page will help me pay for licenses, pay for the app development, the most important bit.
Well, that's expensive though, right?
It's a $325,000 development. I even asked the government, look, can you just give me $20,000 to kick it off? And I was like, no.
You give you a startup grant.
The very next week that I sent that email, the very next week I sent that email, I saw that Luxembourg just sent $6 million to Ukraine.
Yeah.
For whatever the hell.
People are saying the fact that they can hear you now, but also, wow, far out. This is bouncing around bullshit.
This is fucking bullshit, 100%. We're second class. We're third class citizens within this nation. The only time people give a shit about us, Duncan, is if the Paralympics roll around. Yeah. If they have an accessibility campaign that they want to go. If you want an inspirational speaker. Other than that, we don't give a shit, right? We're the silent. I'd say I'm the vocal minority.
Yeah, I think you are too.
A lot of people within the disabled community hate me because I always voice my opinion. Because, like I said,
But you're in a catch-22 position because if you don't voice your opinion, then you go silent. You get nothing.
Yeah.
So when you speak out, you still get nothing.
Precisely.
And you get the ire of your mates.
I get nothing. Either way, like you say, I get nothing. But at least there is a bit of light shed on that problem.
Yeah, but what is it you need to do? You almost need to get as many of you as possible and get into the beehive, onto the 9th floor, and do a sit-in. Yeah. I mean, I know this is really naughty saying this, but you need to do a sit-in. And breach the beehive security.
So there was a porphyry a couple of months ago where they had a couple of disabled people just parked outside the beehive getting in the way. Upson came out, Simmons came out, made a speech, and they just went back in.
Labor makes a big play of themselves about how they support minorities and how they support the disabled. Well, they do. I've heard them. I've been at the speeches. I've seen. I've covered the stuff. They make a really big deal that they're in your corner.
They're not.
So Seppo never got back to you. Was her person just got back to you and said, go and speak to the people you've already spoken to?
The people there, and mind you, this is with the new government, the coalition. What they're doing is they're forcing people that are currently on the job seeker into work, which some of it I support, but there are other Duncans, there are other individuals that are disabled that are on the job seeker that cannot find work. If they do find work, they cannot get to their places of work due to the lack of transport. So we're getting red flagged for not being able to attend these job interviews. And when I come up with a solution to get those people out of their homes to these job interviews, they don't want to hear it because it's not going to financially benefit them.
You know, with the cuts that this government's making, and they've actually made $24 billion worth of changes to funding. So they've taken funding from here and put it over there where they want it. So it's reprioritised, right? That's not insignificant.
No.
And I wonder, is it your sector that's taken? Well, we know your sector took a hit initially. Has it continued?
Yeah, 100%. It's still being cut. Like I said, there are a lot of things that under the table or under the carpet that's still being cut, and we don't find out about it until the next budget is revealed.
It's pretty mean, exactly. Disabled people. You know?
If people want to help out, if people want to help the cause, like I said, I'm in desperate need. I've been screwed by a lot of people.
Yes.
People can go to givealittle.co.nz.
Yes. And how do they find you on there?
So if you just go to givealittle.co.nz and the page is called A Safer Ride Option for Everyone.
Yes.
They can easily type that in, and then it'll pop up, and they can donate whatever they can.
Are you hopeful? Are you despondent? Are you angry? You want to
I'm pissed.
in the fight?
I'm pissed. I'm holding on. As like I said when I spoke to you a year ago, I will go to my grave fighting for this cause.
I know you will.
I refuse to be silenced, and regardless of my disability, I'm not going to give up. I'm a human. I'm a citizen of this country. I pay taxes.
Yeah.
I pay rent. I fucking feed the government. Look after me. Otherwise, I want to go against my own law.
You know, I feel for you, bro. I mean, I don't know what more I can do, but be a platform to voice your concerns and to be stand beside you.
Yeah.
To put pressure on them when they come on. I just think this. I mean, the last cabinet wasn't the right one either. I don't think their hearts are in it.
No.
They don't want to understand either.
No. There's a saying. It's you can't do about us without us, right?
Yeah.
You can't make laws, or you can't make accessibility accessible without asking those who need that accessible.
You know. I know all you want is an app, and to get this thing underway. Chris Luxon employs 7 on the taxpayer, 7 social media people.
Yeah.
I don't want to make you spew on this one, but 7 social media people for one prime minister.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
And if they're all paid $100,000 each, that's $700,000. Sorry to
No, you're fine.
Frustrate you there.
You're fine.
People are saying kia kaha, Barney. Definitely third-class citizen, says Maria. Wheeled out for photo ops, 100% tokenism. Labor didn't break up the ministry for the disabled. That's all on the nets, and that's true.
Yeah.
Voicing your opinion in New Zealand leads to a tall poppy syndrome, says Kelvin. And for some reason, people don't want to listen to reason.
Yeah, no
it's
one. If you have evidence and you provide that evidence, they call you a conspiracist, or they call you a Karen.
I find this every day.
And all this other stuff. Yeah, 100%. You go against it. You go against the tide, and people will find a way to stomp on you.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like I said, if people want to support the cause, look, please.
Give it a jump on there. How much you got in there now? What's it?
$14,000.
Oh yes, that's a start.
So givealittle.co.nz, a safer ride option for everyone.
Is there an agency that could create an app for you for free? Is it how you know? I mean, I know it's expensive, but there's no one out there that would donate their time and donate their expertise.
No, we've been through that before.
You've been through it,
but it's just the software that is recommended to help disabled is very high tech. And a lot of these guys want something out of it. So either they can develop it for free, but maybe they want shares straight after it.
7 years, 8 years already. You prepared to do another 8? You will, won't you?
What was that?
You prepared to do another 8 years?
100%. Like I said, I go to my grave fighting for this. No one's going to stop me.
Keep in touch with me, okay?
For sure.
Keep in touch with me, and thanks for coming in, Barney.
Thank you so much.
Nice to see you, mate. Nice to see you. Good luck.
Duncan Garner, live.
Okay, so don't forget, because I think it's tragic. I've seen the paperwork, and the way that Barney's been pushed around. It's not just tragic. It's wrong. It is morally wrong what they've done, and they have dismissed this guy. They've completely dismissed him and the people that he stands up for, and the people that he supports, the people that he backs. They've just dismissed him. All these letters, thanks Barney, are a complete embarrassment to us as New Zealanders. You should see it. Thanks for your time. Go and speak to her. Thanks for your time. Go and speak to him. He's spoken to them. I don't know what to do.
It's the Slam Dunk.
Okay, so it's suddenly game on in the America's Cup, isn't it? And the Brits appear to have miraculously found some extra speed after 4 straight losses. I don't know why the telly was on for me, but I actually got up and watched it. I know I've sort of bagged Dalton and Co, but I'm sort of, it's my job, right? That's my job. Now, they used that rest day well, I reckon, the Brits, and they went sailing, something we didn't do. I wonder if we've made a gigantic mistake. They've done something to their boat, and suddenly it's faster. Their boat was way faster over 2 races today. That first one when we came off the foils, yeah, so we made a mistake. But I tell you what, you make a mistake at that top level in that game, you're gone, Burger. They were 1.5 K ahead. So they were faster over 2 races, and suddenly is it too early to get that sinking feeling all over again, do you think? This is not a repeat, is it, of Dino in San Fran? Up by what, 8 and loses? It's not a repeat of that, is it? God, I hope not. Surely we can't lose it from here, can we? Can our boat go faster? Well, it's going to need to. Can the Brits stay this fast? Well, they're going to hope they can. Is this trip to Barcelona about to blow up in our face? We could have easily defended this thing back here probably, but is this trip to Barcelona now going to blow up in our face? If anything, I suppose it's made it interesting, hasn't it? And I hope we don't squander. I hope we haven't squandered that rest day due to complacency. Did we use it well enough? I mean, suddenly there's just a lot more interest now in it, isn't there? Go the Brits, but as long as they don't get past us.
Duncan Garner, live.
Now, have we found JP, or are we flagging it? Do we know? Is JP around? I think he's not around. He's been partying. JP's been partying. JP won Celebrity Treasure Island last night, and what looked like just a stonkingly long game. You see, because we weren't there. We were gone. We'd gone from the island 24 hours earlier. And so here they are, Christian Cullen, James Rolliston and JP, John Paul Foliaki, and they went well into the night digging for their treasure. So I think that wasn't the plan. So there wasn't some sort of great finale on the show. It was like everyone's on their knees going, you're the champion. And that's it. And he sort of said, yay, yeehaw. And that was it. So it was it ended up being a phenomenal win for him. But what a day, what a long day. And the dig went on for hours and hours into the dark, and they were all exhausted. So I don't think he's not around, is he? He's been running around doing all sorts of... I'll just get Isaac to confirm this with me. I mean, as I said at the start of the show, we may get him, we may not. Is JP around? He's not, is he? He's at the pub still. That's the thing. Anyway, he'd come on and say he did it for Tonga, tease up, and he loved doing it. It's a really big deal for him, a really big deal for his family and for his people, and it couldn't have gone to a nicer guy. So good on him, and well done, and congratulations to him. What did you make of that, though? Barney's case. I mean, I know Barney's case, I know it well, but... Hey,
it's pretty wild. It's a very sad thing,
isn't it? Though
that
imagine if that's you. I mean, you know, he's a human being.
Yep.
And we've treated him like absolute shit.
Yeah, and just the fact, again, like the fact that in 2024 this is even a discussion is a very strange thing to me.
But it is though.
Yeah.
I know you haven't seen the letters, Isaac, but and Isaac runs the show. He's the main man here. But the thing is, these letters. I'll show you. But the letters are heartbreaking because they just say, thanks for your email.
It's a bunch of PR. It's garbage.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
And go and speak to Phil. Well, I've spoken to Phil last year, and Phil can't, so he just been duck shoveled around the beehive and duck shoveled around public agencies.
Yeah. Crazy.
Yeah, and I would go and occupy the beehive. Well, what else has he got to lose?
Yeah,
you know,
100%.
I mean, he's already, he's fought so hard, and I don't mind him swearing and going.
No, not at all. That's why we have a podcast.
But the disabled community don't actually agree with him at times too, because they want to keep their head down and not want to upset the apple cart. Well, you don't upset people, you don't get anywhere. You upset people, you get nowhere.
Exactly.
Right, that's us.
Crazy.
JP, enjoy the beers, mate, wherever you are. That's us, folks. Thanks for tuning in to Duncan Garner, Editor-in-Chief Live with Estes Oil. The premium New Zealand-made fish oil supplement backed by a study support joint, heart, brain health. About Health have a $500 Pro Health Pack, the giveaway, which runs right the way through October with all the orders going in the draw to win. Now you can use the code Duncan for 10% off, and you get an extra entry with that. Abouthealth.co.nz. Take as directed, read the label. About Health Auckland 0800 999 309. They're standing by the phone there. Get into them. Have a go. It's all there. Hey, our man Henk, he's Tetris. He's Mr. Tetris. So Tetris is the game with a
I know. I'm not that young.
No.
Mate,
I'm sorry. I wasn't talking to you there. I said to people who are listening, or whatever. If they don't know, they'll know. But anyway, because I had to remind myself what it was. But it's the boxes that pulled out.
Yeah. Well, see, this is the thing that confused me, because there's a movie that's been made about Tetris.
About him. Yeah.
Is it
The movie's about him.
Okay, I didn't ask him when I was taking him out. I thought I didn't want to be like rude or anything like that.
Or fanboy.
Because Taron Egerton, as they say his name, he plays the guy. Does he play Hank?
I think so.
Oh, Henk, sorry.
Henk, yeah. This guy's loaded.
Wow.
This guy's like an international global superstar.
Yeah.
Well, that's what it says on Google.
Wow.
Yeah. So, yeah. But the thing is, when you're a really rich guy, you can stand for anything, I suppose. Eh?
Oh yeah.
You can hold positions on anything, I suppose.
Yep.
But New Zealand's got some. I mean, even though we have renewable energy, it's not working. It's not working at the moment for us. That is us. This will be available as a podcast on Rover shortly, and available wherever you get your podcasts. Thanks for all your feedback and your support, and good feedback on this too. Really good feedback on this. Duncan, hey, take the money from Luxon when he sells his third house without a capital gains tax and have plenty of money spare. Maybe he could pay for Barney's app sharing right. Dave, don't be such a stirrer. Great CTI season. Hey, Duncan, thoughts on Liam Payne? Did he fall? What do we know?
I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure, but
One Direction singer.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. Sounds like he's fallen from third story of a hotel in Argentina, I believe.
Yeah, that's what the early reports were saying, right? That it was a fall. So yeah, we don't know why, how, what. All we know is that he's no longer with us, and he was a superstar. Yeah. God, it's tragic, isn't it? How old?
31.
He's 31 now?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, when he busted onto the scene, he was 16, 17, yeah?
Yeah, crazy. And he's unfortunately leaving behind a 7-year-old son named Bear and his girlfriend of 2 years as well.
Yeah, well. Yep. Our sympathies to the family and to the wider family and all the very best in the coming days. It's going to be a real struggle. Hey, and also thank you to everybody who supported me with CTI, with Celebrity Treasure Island. I've had so much good feedback. And people have said to me, you're actually not a bad guy. I don't know what you thought of me beforehand, but it's kind of interesting that, they saw another side to you. That's interesting that it's taken all these years. Maybe it was Celebrity Treasure that shows you the real me. But to all those people who have commented on all the different sites, because I've read a lot of the stuff now, my mate sent it to me and said, hey, these guys like you. Really? I don't know what you thought of me before, but thank you very much for your feedback and thank you for supporting me and backing me and saying nice, kind things. I do appreciate it. It's actually quite nice when people say nice things about people. It's actually a good thing. Empathy is a really important trait in life. I'm Duncan at rover.nz to my team. Isaac, thank you, sir. You're the man. You're faultless, mate. And Forrester, wherever you may be. And Lockie, thank you, sir. Thank you, guys. We'll do it again tomorrow. And remember, life's no dress rehearsal. There's no curtain raiser. We better get to this to these targets around climate change, because otherwise what? We're not going to be here. This is it. We live in one of the best places on earth, so get out and enjoy it. Have a great day. Go Team New Zealand. God, we can't lose it from here, can we? You know it's entirely possible. The Brits look fast. I better get out of here. Have a great rest of the day. Cheers. Take care.
That was Duncan Garner, Editor-in-Chief Live. Missed something on the live stream? Text Duncan to 3598 to listen back on the podcast. Want to get in touch? Call 0800 863 293.